Did you like that?
Wow, what a show.
Isn't that
was amazing.
I know, very fancy.
Wow.
After we got off the phone, I was on Gerald's show at the Tarot Stash. What a hoot. He's amazing. And he has this great introduction. And I thought, I want one of those. So after we hung up this afternoon, I thought, I'll just pull something together.
Wow. Well, that was stunning. It left me breathless. Whoa.
Oh, I love the way you, gosh. Don't you like that, ladies and gentlemen? When people gosh
from the heart.
You're the best. You are the best. You are the best. Now, wait a minute. We've got someone here that said, here we go. Julie, she received her supplies that you suggested. And that's good. Karina, you're here lurking. I like that. That's what Gerald calls it. Karina.
Do people lurk down under?
Well, no, that's what some people just want to hang out, because I see a certain number of people in the room, but very few chat, except for the really cool ones. Welcome to all the best chatters.
Hi, everybody.
The best lurkers, the work lurkers,
Mary.
The walking lurkers, the driving lurkers, washing dishes lurkers.
Bora Bora.
I love Bora Bora.
Maria is receiving abundance. Celtic seer.
There we are. Whoops.
Maria.
Charlie is watching. Hello, hello. Oh, it's good to see everybody. Marina. Hello, chatters. Look at that icon she has for her picture. It looks like Klimt. You have a story about classics today. What are we going to talk about today?
Oh, are we ready?
Well, I think we are. We're going to have a little introduction here, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And we are going to, I'm going to hand it over to Lalit, and then we'll come back and do some readings. Make sure that you have your questions in capital letters, because the old peepers aren't as good as they used to be. So all caps, please. And if you want numerology, you need to add your numbers. And if you have your sun sign, add your sun sign. And there we are. Okay.
Hi, everybody. I was telling Deborah that after our last few shows, I've gone to a channel that I enjoy watching. That's a man named Stephan Burns, and he is a geophysicist. And for the past few weeks, I hadn't been watching him before this, but I would turn on the channel, and he gets the reports from the National Weather Service, NOAA, NOAA, and they have a department called Space Weather, and they have all the solar flares, cosmic rays, and things, the energies from space that are bombarding Earth. And it was funny because he was saying exactly the thing that I had just said in the show for each week. This went on 3 weeks in a row, that he would make an announcement about energy levels and what was happening on what day. And it exactly corresponded with what I'd been saying. So I thought, well, I watched it again yesterday, same thing. He talked exactly about the things that we talked about. And he shows the visuals from space from the satellites of the different energies hitting the Earth. And I thought it was kind of fascinating. So I am going to show you a little bit of that after we recap what I said for last week, because that is now beginning to hit the Earth today. And we're going to see the pictures from space of the plasma that's shooting out of the sun and coming to us. It's really fascinating. But we're going to do a quick recap of last week's energies, because you know what? They're still pervasive right now. So for those of you who might have missed the show or who have forgotten because it's been a week that you thought about it, we want to just quickly sum up the energies of last week, show pictures of it from space, how they're now hitting us right now as we speak, and then we'll go into next week's energy. So here is last week's chart. And if you remember, we started talking about how Mars changed sign. And here's Mars. I'm going to make a little arrow to it. Mars is the red planet, and it changed sign, went into Aries, its home sign. Whenever a planet goes into its home sign, it is strengthened. Now we're going to look at the rulership chart. I'm sending everybody this when you get your horoscope. When I send you a chart, I'll send you the rulership chart. And here is Mars in red in Aries, and it's showing that's the rulership. Not only Mars went into Aries, but Venus went into Taurus, which it rules. And whenever a planet is in its ruling sign, the energy is doubled, because energies are like sine waves. They double up when the frequencies are harmonics of each other. The waves of energy get twice as powerful. So the Mars energy that we have had, there it is. Why is it? I had made it red, I thought. Okay, here, let me point out the Mars in red, because I think I did it on today. So here's Mars, entered Aries. Venus entered Taurus. Now, both of those are now amplified by double. So the male, Mars, warrior energy, masculine energy, male body. It's an energy that initiates new things, and in its positive expression can burst forth like a seed beginning to grow, or a seed idea. Maybe you're starting a creative new project, and that's really the highest form of embodying that Mars type energy. And the Venus energy, of course, reflects the divine feminine, the female body. And notice all the conflict we've been having after the Dobbs decision with the Mars male legislators trying to take control over female reproductive rights. And the females are not going along too easily with all of that. And the healthcare issues for the female body, all that kind of thing. And in addition to all of that, if that weren't enough, Pluto stationed and went retrograde. And when a major planet like this goes station, that energy is doubled, because it's sitting still and the energy gathers and is more powerful. I like to think of that image of the little boy with a magnifying glass, focusing the rays of the sun. It just focuses the energy in a point, making it like a laser sharp focus. So Pluto also has the sexual components that both Mars and Venus have: sexual energy, sexual organs, regeneration. It's very powerful. Not only governs us the sexual organs, but also the excretory system, because Pluto is regeneration. It requires purging the old before the new can be born. So Pluto has, as one of the things it rules, is excrement, has rulership over excrement, the underworld, hidden things, deep, dark secrets that are kept hidden. So Pluto, and it's in the sign ruled by Aquarius, so you add the surprising, unexpected, changeability, unusual elements to the mix, which are revolutionary. In looking at the chart, up at the top, we also still have the Uranus and Jupiter thing. It just began, and it's a 14-year cycle, and this is still in play. Put that all together. What does that add up to? Well, I say that the Trump trial is the perfect example of all of those energies. If you think about it, the imagery of, I don't know if you've been following it, but the symbolism, the things they've been talking about are just crazy. You've never heard any kind of trial talking about things of this nature. I mean, especially not a president of the United States. But I just was telling Deborah, I'm going to say something that I never said on air, or in a tape or in public or anything like this. But I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell last night, and he had written a script that was so literary, and it was really elegant and really beautiful language. But he was writing about the court transcript and what was written in the court transcript. And at a certain spot, I'm talking about Pluto and Mars and Venus energy in the most unusual way. He said this was from the court transcript. They were reading passages from a Twitter exchange between Stormy Daniels and Trump, where Trump called Stormy Daniels a human toilet. And she responded by saying, and all of this is in the court record, she was going to flush down the orange turd. And this went back and forth. The lawyer for Trump kept repeating that phrase about the orange turd. Were you referring to President? Just went on and on. And I couldn't believe that such a thing was in the record of this trial. It was so kind of shocking, but I have to say, I laughed out loud. I thought it was hysterically funny when you think about how perfectly this encounter between the two of them symbolized that the butting of heads of the Mars-Venus energies and the male dominance that we've had in our society. And Stormy is an indomitable spirit. She was not going to put up with it, and she's smart, and she brought out she said some things that were really surprising, and it made me laugh, because what else can you do? It's kind of shocking that these things are out there in society, but that was a perfect image of the kind of energies we were talking about in their worst possible form. They can be in a more elevated form. This is the low vibrational form where people are having disrespectful conversations with each other of this type. But it's an image that will linger with you. You'll never forget what Pluto, Mars, and Venus stand for, certainly because it's an image that is very powerful. Now, last week we added to that mix of that chart that you were just looking at. I'm going to jump over to a few days after that. We're going to go to the 7th of. So this is the chart that we were just looking at, but we are going to go to a special moving through time version where we can see the chart moving, because I want to show you what's happening in the next few days. But we're going to just begin with the new moon that we had. The new moon that we had was on the 7th. So we're going to go to the 7th of May. And here is I'm going to ping on these. Oops, you're not seeing that, are you? No. I'm sorry. There it is. So on the outer ring, we're moving in time, and this was the new moon, just before the new moon, and this was the 7th, and we're going to this day because this was particularly intense. The new moon occurred in Taurus, and that made what's called a stellium, or this grouping of all these planets. We're going to ping them off. This is all in Taurus. Venus is at one edge, one boundary of the stellium of this big group that goes here. Venus in Taurus, next to the moon in Taurus, next to the sun in Taurus, then Uranus in Taurus, then Jupiter in Taurus. And all of this would be a very close conjunction, extremely powerful. Notice the outer boundaries, because you're going to see a picture of this in the universe. The sky map from outer space from the National Weather Service. Venus and Jupiter are the outer boundaries of this energy consortium. It is a big grouping. And in astrology, this is the rarest form. You see, all the planets are in a very small spot. This is very rare. It doesn't happen often. And Pluto is a little bit further away, but they're all in one tiny sector of the sky. That means everything is really interconnected. They're all relating to each other, and the energies are amplified. They're stronger. Everything is way more intense than normal. And at this point, I want to show you what the Weather Service is saying, because it turns out that on the 7th, the energy started shooting out of the sun, all of the giant solar flares and magnetic energy coming across the universe directly towards Earth. And today being the 10th, it's hitting us, it's beginning to hit us now. And they're saying that this storm is was predicted to be a big category 4. The scale is 1 to 5, with 5 being like hurricane. 4 is a bad hurricane. 5 is like the worst it could be. They're saying this storm may be a 5, and at any rate, nothing has been seen like this in decades. So if it seems to you that life has been weird and strange and unusual events have been happening both on the personal level and on the collective level, it's not your imagination. It's really happening, and science is beginning to measure it. So let's see if I can get this little short. We're just going to show a few minutes of the images because I want you to see what the sensors pick up from space of the plasma and the cosmic rays that are heading toward Earth, and this big storm that's just beginning to hit us. Now, I'm going to recommend this channel because this particular man, whose name is Stephan Burns, let's see, it better come up. I had it all set up. Give me a second here. Stephan Burns is his name, Stefan. Yes, okay, here it is. Stephan is where it says the storm has begun. This is the one that just came out today because it's starting to hit us. But the one I want to show was yesterday's, which is this one. At the bottom, it says May 10 to 13. Let me scroll it a little bit up so you can see that. So here's his name, Stephan Burns. That's his channel up here at the top, Stephan Burns. I'll highlight that channel. And the video we're going to watch is down here. It says May 10 to 13. This is from today. That's the energies hitting Earth today. Now, they left space heading our way on the 7th. It took them a few days to get here. And we're just going to show a little bit of the energies. And here we go. So, oops. And I have to narrate because of the problem we get feedback if Deborah has her speakers on. So I'm just going to tell you what he's saying, but it's much more fun to watch him.
I don't have my speakers on. Go ahead and let her rip.
Well, mine are not hooked up anymore, so I'll just narrate it a little bit. I have to hook all the speakers up, so they're disabled, so we don't get feedback for sure. Anyway, we can figure out some other way next time, but this will do fine. The images are what's important now. We're just going to see a little bit. So these pictures of the energy headed to the Earth, and I'm going to zoom forward to around 4.5 minutes where you can get pictures of the sun. These are direct pictures of the sun. Right at the center is where he's pointing to the sun itself. And when you see those little lights bopping out, those are the flares that are occurring. And there are 5 major flares that occurred, 5 big emissions. So very big flares, and you can see them shooting out, and they're coming toward us. Shooting out in all directions toward us. It's shooting straight at us, he's saying. So it's going out and toward us, aimed straight at Earth. On your left, you're going to see a little light that is actually the planet Jupiter. In the middle of the screen, on the left side is Jupiter, and right behind his right shoulder, you're going to see Venus. He'll move his right shoulder. So you have two planets visible. Those are the two that are there's Venus on the right, pointing to Venus and Jupiter. Venus and Jupiter. The two benefic planets that have the high energy, and they were the outside sandwich of that big stellium. And that's why the sun is going bonkers crazy. Now I'm going to go forward a little bit to another type of image that's of that energy leaving the sun, so you can see it from a little bit different filter, so you can see what it looks like. These are explosions that are heading toward Earth because of this overload of energy in our system. And it takes a few days to get here, and it's starting now. This is highly unusual. So there we go. So he does discuss the planets because he knows about astrology. So sometimes he will make references to the things that we're talking about. And so I hope that you enjoyed that, and it gave you a picture of what those cosmic rays look like. Could you see it all right, Deborah? Did it work?
I'm trying to figure out the buttons, and you're figuring out the universe.
I'm trying to figure out the buttons too. When you figure it out, please let me know.
Oh my God.
Okay. But I can hear you. So you saw the images, okay?
Yes, everything looked
okay.
great.
All right.
How about for the audience? Did you all?
Everybody
a lot of
okay?
people are saying that. So Maria is receiving abundance, says, I find the topic very interesting. She thanks you. And she did confirm that her picture is Klimt.
Thank you. Thank you.
I appreciate that.
Okay. So now let's go to what's happening in the next few days. We know that this solar storm is hitting us. So all of these energies that we were talking about are effective, and it's the biggest magnetic storm on our Earth in decades. So I heard something about radio signals going out in Asia. Karina, do you know anything about that? Anything happening to you down under? I think the northern hemisphere gets hit harder because the northern hemisphere is pointing to the sun at this point, beginning to be, turning into summer. Anyway, let's look at our future for the next few days. So let me clean this little blotch off that I put there. So we're going to talk about what's occurring. This chart is May the 10th. Wait a minute, I got to get this one that's moving back up. There it is. It worked. I got it back. All right. This is the moving chart. So this was the day of the new moon. You can see the sun and moon together, and that was the 7th. Now we're going to fast forward for a few days. We're now at the 10th. I showed you the 10th, and we're going to go to the 13th. Something unusual is happening on the 13th. On the 13th of May, you're going to see what's called a cazimi, when a planet is exactly conjunct the sun, at least within less than 1 degree. It's called a cazimi, and that's an Arabic word from in the heart of the sun. You can imagine that there's a Pink Floyd song that goes like that, old Set Your Controls for the Heart of the Sun, if you've ever heard that. So I like Pink Floyd. Anyway, old school. Uranus and the sun are exactly conjunct on the 13th. Do you think that's going to be a nice, relaxing day to just take a nap? Nope. Change is the key word for Uranus. So when Uranus and the sun are conjunct, take the initiative, because it's going to happen to you. You might as well be the leader and change the things that you want to control. Meditate on the things that no longer serve you. and eliminate that and make some changes in your personal life. Because if you don't make some changes, the universe will do it for you. You might not like it as well. So the change is going to happen. This is a revolutionary kind of change. And so the 13th is a big day because not only is Uranus exactly conjunct the sun, but Jupiter's right there nearby, and so is Venus. All these energies are melding like we saw. It's a big time thing. A couple of days later, we're going to look at the 17th. Let's see, did I get the 17, 14? It's not changing, is it? No, there we go. Okay, here is 17. On the 17th, Mercury, which is right down here, and Mercury, by the way, has passed its shadow. So it's moving fast now. So communications, the problems we've had with Mercury retrograde are we've surpassed everything, but Mercury is square to Pluto this day. I think my screen is a little, yeah. The 16th and 17th, it will be happening, both of those days. My controller, my little pinger is not working just right. Let's see. Well, Mercury is square to Pluto, and Mercury is in Taurus, Pluto in Aquarius. Fixed signs. What does that mean? This is the deep hidden secrets we were talking about. And Mercury is communication. Secrets can be unveiled in a day like that. When Mercury and Pluto are square, some secrets will be uncovered. Now, I'm expecting there will be things of the political nature, or let's say in the Justice Department, because, Jupiter's involved in this mix. We've got justice issues, and so people are going to be learning things this week that were not known and are very deep. And that will be on the collective level, but in your personal life, things could happen. And I hate to bring up the Trump trial again, but there was a story from that trial that I thought is pertinent to your own life. Don't let this happen to you. That was a story about Rona Graff, who was the private secretary to Trump. And she was his loyal secretary for 30 years. Apparently, she broke down crying on the stand because they asked her why she left the organization. And it turned out that she told someone something in confidence. I think what she told him was that Trump didn't want to be seen with Tiffany, his daughter, because she was fat. And he didn't want to be seen in pictures with her. And when that word got out that she said that, they fired her after being a loyal employee for 30 years, and she was really upset. But the message of this story is not that Trump is a jerk, although that's not the point. The point being, don't, in a day when Mercury and Pluto are conjunct, and in that whole period, don't say anything to anybody you wouldn't want the world to know. So that's a word of advice. Mum's word. Just keep it to yourself, because it's not the time to express secrets like that, because it's kind of like an emperor has no clothes moment, when people are discovering things, and you just want to avoid unpleasant consequences. So watch what you say or write online, and just be cautious, and don't say anything that your mother wouldn't want you to say.
Mama.
Mama wouldn't want you to say. All right, now.
Oh, you're not through?
One more day, one more thing, just one more thing.
Okay.
Right after that, one more day after, and my clicker is not working. Oh, I'm working on the wrong screen. I have two monitors. I'm clicking on the wrong monitor. No wonder. There it goes. I have two monitors that look just the same, and my mouse on a little button, and nothing's happening. I'm doing it on the wrong monitor. Okay, on the 18th, look at this. Jupiter and Sun are exactly in 28 degrees. So this is Cazimi for Jupiter. Oh, everything gets more of everything. Now, Jupiter is the great benefic. Would that be great good fortune? Well, that depends on you, because what you put out is what you get back. And so let's say if you are a really prized gardener and you're really good at tending your garden, and this is a metaphor for anything you do in life, you're going to get big rewards. But let's say you have your cesspool in the backyard is backing up, you're going to be swimming in sewage. So you're getting more of whatever it is you're putting out. So people are saying, oh, Jupiter's going into Gemini. Is that going to be good luck for Trump and everything's going to go good? He's having a little bit of things that are going his way, but don't you worry, because he will be getting back more of what he's been putting out. And it's not to worry. I mean, I hear people panicking. Oh no, is he going to get away scot-free? No, don't you worry. That's the situation. And you'll notice that at this time, all these planets, Uranus, Venus, Jupiter, and the Sun are all in a very tight conjunction. 23 degrees to 28. Look at your own chart. Anything in that general area, you're going to be hit hard, especially fixed signs, Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. Anything in those degrees of those signs will be having more challenges, shall we say, but the whole world is going to be feeling that. And hang on to your hat, because this giant conjunction is going to be very unsettling, disturbing, and you're going to say, oh my God, what's going on? But they are the two benefics, Venus and Jupiter. So I want you to remember, in spite of things as they might appear, everything is working out perfectly. There's an acronym for that, EWAP. Everything is working out perfectly. So when you see something like that, you don't zoom out 30,000 feet. Imagine the situation. You're driving down the freeway, you have a flat tire, you're going to an important meeting, you go, oh shoot, what am I going to do? I'm late, this is terrible. And then you find out later that right in front of you, a short distance ahead, there was a terrible car crash. And if you hadn't had a flat tire, you'd have been involved in that crash for sure. And you may have been killed, like a lot of people were. And then you'll say, oh, I'm so glad I had that flat tire, because it really worked out better that way. So that's the message for next week. Awesome. Zoom out and say, everything's working out perfectly, despite appearances to the contrary. It's really true.
Everything's working out perfectly. Let me find what I'm doing here. So, yes, we had some commentary during this time. Thank you so much, Lily. McGrill says there's amazing aurora borealis pics from Ireland. Now, they're about latitude, longitude of like Seattle, New York, I would think. Mm-hmm. And then I find the topic interesting. There was another star I made here with... So, Catherine, you know what? I think it was about 20 years ago, because I listened to that Stephan, his video we just saw. And the link for that is in the show notes. But
thank you, Deborah.
But here we are. Karina said she has not heard anything down under. So nothing's happened.
Well, it's just getting underway in the earth. So we're just beginning to feel this.
No, this is Gerald.
For days, a few days of it.
I was on his show just recently, and he's saying, which day is that to avoid? Like we can avoid a day.
Oh, well, that the last thing that I was talking about is with that. Is it like the 17th, and the 17th is when you want to be careful of what you say and whatnot. The 18th is the Sun conjunct Jupiter. But that all of the end of next week, from the 13th, the Sun at conjunct Uranus, from these are all effective all week long. They're exact on the days that I told you, but we're already feeling them. They will just get more intense and they'll be precise on the days I said. So the 13th is the Sun in Uranus, big change. The 17th is Mercury square Pluto. Watch what you say. Mum's the word. The 18th is the Sun conjunct Jupiter. You might have you're going to have more of it. Excess. That could be the sorcerer's apprentice kind of situation, and it's going to amplify everything. So it's a week of changes and hidden secrets and some unusual, unexpected events. So be prepared and
be prepared for the unexpected. I just love it when astrologers say that.
Yeah, you ride the wave. Be prepared. It's unexpected.
You're surfing
a wave. You got to just ride with it when it hits you. And even though you knew it's coming, you go, "Wow, I didn't know it's going to be that big," or something like that.
So we've got how does the 16th work? Look, it just means like this next week, you just have to mind your P's and Q's. That's your pints and quarts.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not fooling. I was happy to see those images from Stephan Burns because it's not your imagination. These things are really going on. And sensitive people, like the people who are in this group, are you're noticing it, and it's unsettling and disturbing. So get yourself some chamomile tea.
And some pot.
Yeah. I love those meditations with McKenna that I had put on my channel. Really good for anxiety, for sleeping, really calm you down.
Awesome. So we've got Celtic Seer here, geomagnetic storms at the moment. Now the Aurora Borealis is as far as the Carolinas.
Wow. Where
did you see that, Celtic Seer? And she also says we have Sun and Uranus coming together on Monday in Taurus. Oh, all of that is foreign to me. Can you say a few words about that, Lalit?
I said a lot of words about that.
We've already covered that?
Yeah. The Sun is conjunct Uranus and on the 13th. And then things will go into Gemini, but we're going to be talking about next week. Yeah, it'll be going into Gemini. Well, here, let's look at it. We'll move it forward so you can see the 19th. Oh, put you on screen. Here is the 19th is the day, 20th. In the 20th, the Sun is in 0 degrees of Gemini. In the United States, this is Pacific time, May 20th. So, that's a little bit, and Jupiter is right on its heel. So Jupiter will be entering Gemini, and people have been very afraid of that in terms of maybe Trump getting more than his share of good luck, but not to worry. It's all going to come out in the wash. So we're going to talk of this. So we're focusing on this week now, because next week we're also going to have a lot of things, including full moon in Sagittarius. So after the Sun gets into Gemini, then we're going to have the full moon over here in Sagittarius, and that is going to be that's our topic for next. So that's really our topic for our next. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned for the big moon,
because we can't do it all in one lesson. So one week. So so Gemini and Sagittarius will be our topic next Friday.
Grace and Harmony has joined us from your channel, Lalit. She says Sirius XM radio is experiencing outages. Makes sense. It's a satellite base, right? And Verizon has sent out things to say they might interrupt.
So
something.
Be prepared for that.
So Okay, you already said that. Sorry. Now we got to get down. We've got a few minutes left. Definitely would appreciate a reading. Sun is Scorpio, rising, moon is Scorpio rising, moon Gemini. Oh, you've got your birthday. Thank you. So,
Well, if you're Scorpio rising, all of these planets that we have been talking about in Taurus are in what's called opposition 180 degrees away. So this is challenging. I mentioned anyone that, especially if you have the later degrees of Scorpio, it can be affecting your health and stamina, and just change of you're feeling change of identity. You feel that you're undergoing a lot of transformation. Really transformational time for you.
what I, Maria, what I have here is your life path, 24/6 or life path 6, which makes you very good at creating balance and harmony and making things be in order. If you don't feel that way, then you're living off your numbers, with not in alignment with the numbers. But usually the 6s are really brilliant as far as when they create something that's in balance. And you also are blessed with a 3 personal year, which will keep everything on the lighter side, no matter how many sunspots you receive. But the thing is that the only thing that's going to hang you up in this next week regarding what Lalit has been talking about is that you will become over protective of your work. So, and sensitive to criticism, constructive criticism will just rub you the wrong way. So if you know that's coming and you feel yourself moving into that, then you can say, oh, that's right. This has been at my back, so I can just do something different, because we change our life at the level of action. So then what you do, and with the 3 personal year, it means go do something creative. So I hope that helps. I hope you enjoy that. Thank you so much for coming in. Karina, yes, would appreciate a reading if time allows. Of course, of course. Oh, Lalit, you were so still.
I'm
You were so
reading.
still.
I'm reading the
Thinking, oh, she
comments.
froze.
I'm reading. I hadn't seen any of the comments. I see Jen. You asked me about your chart. I'm going to look at my email because I looked and I saw Ellen's request. I want to make sure I got it from you. So I'm going to look and get right back to you. I'll look at it on my other device.
So for Karina, what you've got going here, honey, the Knight of Wands is reversed, meaning that you're standing there wondering what to do next, but you feel you have to do something, but it's reversed. So it's like, I don't know what to do. The next 2 cards are very important to me right now. And it predicts, and actually it kind of goes along with what Lalit was saying. The 5 of Swords, which is being argumentative, but also the 7 of Wands, which tells me that you're going to defend your position no matter what. Frankly, I kind of like that kind of combination. But it does show that you have Temperance, which is being in the middle of the road. So you might have a flare up of having a hard discussion with someone. You can choose not to. That's why you have psychic readings. Forewarned, forearmed. You say, oh, I just want to bypass that. Now, there's another couple of cards in your readings that's incredible. First is Temperance, which is the middle of the road, practicing patience, sitting down and moving forward for the long term. And then right next to it is the Chariot, which is really fast moving energy. So it's like you're in a blender right now. But to master the Chariot and make it more like temperance, just make sure that whenever you're doing a task, don't start it and then start something else. Start it and finish it, but make sure you have, even if you want to leave the project, it would serve you well to go ahead and finish the project, then start something new. Just for this week, I know you can probably multitask really well, but this week, try not to do it. It'll get you in trouble. And let me see. We've got here Joyful Journey, Libra Sun, Cancer Rising, Sag Rising. Love a reading. What can you say? Lalit.
Jen, I just wanted to tell Jen, I do have your request and I will get it to you no later than tomorrow. There's also one from Kim G, and without a birth time. I'm going to have to do it without a birth time, because guessing like that might really lead you astray. So we'll talk about that later. I'll send you a basic chart with time unknown, and then we can talk about that down the road. There might be a way to work it backwards. And I don't see anybody else that I didn't do. So if there's anyone that I didn't do, you're going to have to send me another email, because I don't have it.
So there's a question on the screen for you, Lalit, please.
Well, that kind of depends. It depends, because it's not quite enough information to be really decent. Can you because there are so many variables that I could so easily say completely something that is just wrong, because I have a Libra sun and Sagittarius rising, so I know a lot about that because I'm that. But the other variables are so it could be completely misleading.
Okay, well, I've got a reading for her. If you want a tarot reading,
yeah. If she wants to send me
course.
some information, then I could be more precise, or I could do cards too and stuff too.
Okay, so I do have here Joyful Journey. Thank you for being here. I've got the Death reversed, which means you're hanging on to something that's stinky. Takes me back to the Trump trials, but also you're tired of fighting about it, bickering about it. And so life, especially this week, according to Lalit, this is going to blow up. So in other words, you don't have to worry about it, lose sleep about it, think, oh, I should really let go of this low down cheating daddy or whatever's on your mind. Don't worry about it, because as the week goes on, what you're supposed to let go is going to be so dang ridiculous that you'll say, good riddance. It'll be done. And you will like close the door. I have the Emperor after that. Mm-hmm. You will just close the door and say, look, I'm going to let this go, whatever that means. I think it might be a relationship. I have the Two of Cups reversed. I have the Six of Cups reversed, that's family. And then I also have the Hangman reverse. There's a fair amount of reversals here. It does not mean the opposite. It just means that you need some breathing room. And imagine what that situation you're in now, imagine what it's going to feel like a year from now, 2 years from now. Kind of go in the future and say, oh, I survived that, and just let go of it. So easy for me to say, I'm sorry, but definitely it shows that you have a little something on your mind, but you'll let go of it, because it'll get really weird. Life will get really weird, and it's like too hot to handle, and you'll toss it over. Let me go see with
and Joyful Journey. I'd say this full moon that's coming up, 23rd, the full moon in Sagittarius is going to be a big turning point for you, and presenting you with big opportunities. I hope that you have some intentions that you've already set in motion, but this is a big cycle for you. Yes. So this
Oh,
is
yeah, it is.
a
Your
turning
numbers.
big cycle of change. Yeah.
So you have this year, 2024, joyful. You are life path 28-1, and your personal year is 1. So it's all about independence, cutting off ties from other people that and focus on you, your happiness. And even though it might be scary to cut off something that you've held as a security, it'll as soon as you do it, life is going to shift your energy really well. So 1 personal year means don't strive for being coupled or anything like it. Just work on your own balance and harmony with spirit until about September. The energies change about September, October. But yeah, that is
What we know about her chart totally agrees with what you just said, Deborah. Totally in
awesome.
Agreement with that.
Good.
Send me your data.
So astrology vibrations with an S on the end at gmail.com. I'm just catching up here on the chats. And you already discussed with Jen what she needs to do. Okay.
Yeah, I have everything, Jen. I'll get it to you by tomorrow, no later. Promise. Maybe
awesome.
even tonight if I can, but maybe not. But tomorrow for sure. I don't have to teach tomorrow. I can take care of stuff. Yay.
Hey, wait, I missed somebody. Oh, I missed Mary. She says, I would like to read for next week, if possible. You have my chart. My experience of time has been absolutely bizarre. So you've been losing time. That will be with light workers will experience that, because you can remember I told you about the energies of the dimensions. So we always think that we have like the crystal core in the middle of our planet, and then we have the second dimension, which is everything under the crust of the earth. That's the second dimension. And then the third dimension is us on the earth. And the fourth dimension is how we feel about being on the earth, basically. But that's then we lead ourselves to believe that we have to master all of that to be able to tap into the fifth dimension. Not so. What I just explained, the 1 through 4 is like a birthday cake. That's the cake that we're experiencing in the 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I said last time I described this, I said I don't go into the 9th dimension, but everyone does when they work with the Akashic records. I don't work with the Akashic records here on it live because it's way out there. The 9th, that's where time bends. But what it is that you'll get all this information in different ways with your clairs. And so you don't have to master the 5th to get to the 9th. The 9th can be available to you. So any light worker that is trying to figure out who they are on a spiritual level will probably tap into that 9th dimension, and then you'll fold time, and then you'll go into wonderful storytelling. You'll see things you can share. Do you have anything to add to that one? Oh, it's been so nice. Hey, Ness is here too. Somebody's here. Ness, could you rapid pull a card? Yes, no. I do yes, no. Okay, this is going to be fun because I don't know the question, right? So let's try this. Let's just try this. So you have a yes or no question. With my deck, you pull 5 cards, and you see, because on the deck, every corner, it has On the corner, it has a Y or a for yes or an N for no. And so when you put down 5 cards, you figure out if it's yes or no. But it'll also tell you why it's yes and why it's no. So let me, the question you have in your mind right now is a no, and I'll tell you why. It doesn't mean you can't do it or you can't manifest it. Please, it's a real fine line here. This is telling you that whatever you're doing right now, it will end up not working out, or the way you think, if you're striving for it. But one of it is because of a little imposter syndrome with the Magician reversed here. And also I have the 7 of Swords, the 9 of Wands. It's almost like you don't have enough steam for the project. And then the Page of Swords reversed. It's like you're overworked and taxed on everything. But you might have been searching for a no. And that would be the answer, but it usually takes it, if with the 5 cards on the table, we get to see why it is yes, why it is no. You have a dowsing rod.
I thought, well, while you're doing that, I'll just pick up my rods and I'll get ready to ask her if she wants me to look. But before I could look, they shot into the no position like strong.
Oh my God.
I went, whoa. I always start by saying, show me yes, show me no. And I went, no, wait, really, no. Out of the gate, it just went. And I was kind of surprised because I was just picking them up to say, you want me to do it? And they just.
So Ness, are you happy with that answer, or is it troubling? Please
I don't know. Don't do it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, now I don't want to embarrass myself. I don't mind. I have practiced your name, Hinamara Rama. Is that right?
I'll go with Hine Marama.
It's
Hine Marama.
Marama.
I don't know.
Are we close? So anyway, God bless you. Thank you for coming. I've been thinking about you because I was practicing, and then the little paper I phonetically put it out with, I kind of tossed it or lost track of it. But thank you for coming, my dear. You want a 5-card draw for yes or no with your clarity. Yes, it's a great tip. If you have the clarity deck, it's in the book on how to do it. So remember though, when you say, oh, am I going to marry someone? Am I ever going to get married? You can't read yes or no on that. It doesn't work like that. You say, will I meet this person my person in the next 6 months? You can read on that. And if the answer is no, the cards inside that throw is going to tell you why it's no. Maybe it could be a lot of different things. I won't go into it now, but the cards will tell you also, and this is how I teach the tarot, not every card that hits the table is for you to read. Don't try and fit every card into the story, or else you'll get this convoluted, wavy line, and it won't be concise. When you look at a throw and you're building a story and you can see where everything fits, and there's a couple that don't, just pass them up. They might be relative after the reading when you're starting to talk to someone and say, oh, that's why I had that card. I couldn't figure out where it fits. So it's added value kind of thing. So, and sometimes the cards are for information for you, the advisor, and not for you to say to your client. So I have memberships, and let's see. you're saying, yes, that's what I get. Buying a car. You're buying a car. And I get yes as well. So it sounds right on. In fact, I have. I want to show you. I have the world for you. So I think you're going to not only buy a car, but buy a car you like. Oh, gosh. So we have one that says, Rudy has to be by me all the time before he could care less. Cynthia, I really do believe it's because of the energies there, because those solar flares pull the earth.
Mm.
And so the core, the crystal core and everything else is kind of vibrating at a different spot. The heartbeat of the earth is going to change a little bit. And so this can also bring, I don't like to predict this because it's just life, earthquakes because of the pull. And so your doggy might be thinking, picking up a little earthquake or a vibration like that. So
that's definitely true. That's definitely true, Deborah. That's so true. The pets really pick up on those things, and so they just need a little love, or maybe they want to give you love because they feel you're needing it too.
After I have 3 parrots. I used to have quite a few, and I had last year. It hasn't been a whole year. My beloved Una died, and she was such a big part. She was sick by the end. She was kind of sick and quiet and stuff. But after she left, my little JoJo bird started having anxiety and picking and mutilating his feathers, and it's been horrible. And I thought, well, I'll get one of those cones so he doesn't pick his feathers. And then I tried everything, soaking him in nice water, to heal and all that stuff. And he's been on me like glue. And then it dawned on me, it doesn't have anything. I went to YouTube. I have a little tablet that I don't use. I fired that up, went and downloaded an hour of bird talking. And these would be like nurseries for birds and some interaction with humans and singing. And he's been much better. So I have to remember to think like a bird, because I do run a pretty quiet house because I like stuff quiet, but it's too much for him. I'm gonna land this plane. So let's see now. We're going to say goodbye with some music, and I appreciate all of you. Everyone means so much to me. That makes the time and effort to show up. Thank you, Gerald, for coming in. Tarot Stash, he's an amazing advisor. And we are going to see you next week, Friday at 6. Thank you so much.
Joyful journey. Do you have time? Send me an email if you have time and place.
You've been told. Do it now. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.